Here we go. All right. And we are YouTube live. Timer started. Okay, and request for neck and back. And you have a little finish. So we're going to start out with a little bit of hips, shoulders, and then we'll go probably to laying. Pretty early then. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so grab your pads, kind of outside the mat. Okay. Come to knees. Knees about as wide as the mat. Actually, let's start a little wider if we can. Knees a little wider than the mat. Good. And then spread your fingers out. Try to sit back onto your feet as much as you can. Good. Little groin stretch there, hopefully. Good. Can you guys sit there? Yeah? All right, let's turn the right hand backwards on the mat. Spread your fingers out. If it's hard to put the hand that way, bring it closer to you. If it's really hard, grab your purple bolster and put it on that. Okay, we're going to put your left hand covering the knuckles nearest the palm and flatten those knuckles into the mat. Put a lot of pressure into the left hand. Good, then peel the elbow back. Don't pull with hips. Let your hips go. Really let the belly dump forward. Good, feel that stretch in the hand. And then roll back down. Good. Do it again. Keep the knuckles pressing, or the left hand pressing the knuckles. Roll back. That's it. And then roll forward. So warm it up hands before we do any weight bearing and down dog. Bring it back to these knuckles, the second set of knuckles. Keep those flat. And now try to peel your hand further back, keeping the knuckles flat. Good. And roll forward. Sorry about that. Do two more like that. Let me turn my ringer off. Sorry, guys. All right, roll back forward again. All right. Now, you're going to peel all the way back. When you roll forward, try to put the big knuckles down, the knuckles nearest the palm, then the rest of the hand. Put your left hand back down to help you weight bear. Keep your feet close to you. Keep your belly dropping forward, trying to pull back with hips. And then when you roll back through the hand this time, without the left hand's help, keep the knuckles in the mat. First set, then keep the second set, and roll back through it. Feel that stretch in the hand. One more time, roll back. This time roll all the way back and come to knuckles. Okay? And go the other way. Put the back of your hand into the mat. Spread your fingers out a lot. So your hand is up, you tilt down, put the whole back of the hand into the mat right up to the wrist. And you bring it close to you if you need to. Bring your left hand to cover the knuckles again. So you're trying to push these knuckles into the ground with your hand. Spiral your arm. Outer spiral so your bicep faces forward, eye of the elbow faces forward. Spiral the arm the other way. Good. Outer spiral. Let your hips go if they're holding. And just work. Inner spiral. Outer spiral. Roll the shoulder back. Now keep the pressure in your left hand. Bend your elbow back. Feel that stretch in the hand? Good, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Roll forward. Do it again. Pull back. That's it. Roll forward. Now bring your hand back right to where the fingers and palm meet. You're going to roll all the way back till your hand folds over the other hand. Stretching fingers and then roll forward. You guys feeling that? Do it again. Roll all the way back and then roll forward. This time, roll all the way back, hand folds over the other hand, slide the other hand out and just squish onto knuckles a little. Good. Fingers are flat, don't tuck them in, flatten them out. And then 1 foot counter stretch, bring the hand way out in front, fingers get stuck, roll them back. And then roll back through it. Open and close the hand a few times. Good, and put it down. Other hand flips backwards. This angle gets bigger the further forward your hand is. So don't go so far forward that it's too much. Go to where you can release your hips and you're okay with that. Yeah, hips should be forward. Okay, cover those knuckles, or you can use one finger on each of the big knuckles nearest the palm. Either way, but put some pressure into it and peel the hand back. Yes. Yeah, there's like a sort of scooping forward and up feeling in the hand when you do it that way. And then roll back down. Do that again. Keep the knuckles anchored. Peel your hand back. Keep weight in the hands. Keep your hips forward. Don't pull back in hips. and then roll back down. Now bring your hands back to the second set of knuckles in the fingers. Keep pressure there. Maybe you can even drop into the shoulder blades a little bit. Drop the head. Roll back through the hand further this time. And then roll it down. Last one. Roll back. Roll it down. Bring your right hand to the mat to support some of your weight. Make sure it's even. Try to drop your chest into the shoulders. And then spread shoulder blades out. One more time. Drop the chest into shoulders. Good. Now when you roll your left hand back, try to keep that first set of knuckles down, then the second set as you peel the hand off the mat. So you keep a little weight forward into that. Good, and then roll back down. This time roll all the way out of it. And come to knuckles. Keep the fingers flat, though. Don't tuck the fingers in. And then go the other way. Back of the hand into the mat. Right hand is going to press into the knuckles, trying to push the ball knuckles down. Outer spiral the arm, so eye of the elbow faces forward, bicep faces forward. Keep pressure in hands, let the hips go. Inner spiral the arm. Outer spiral, inner spiral. Feel that rolling through wrist and glenohumeral joint, both. Inner spiral, outer spiral. Now notice if your shoulder blade wants to go around and forward to help you inner spiral. Try to keep it soft and just spiral through glenohumeral joint right there in place. Yeah, feel the difference? If you're having trouble with that, you can suck the ribs back a little bit. Not from here, pressure in hands, then do your spiraling. It just helps release the chest with heck attaching up to the upper arm. Okay. And then keeping the hand there, roll back, pulling elbow back, try to let hips release. And then roll forward. One more time. Pull the elbow back, roll forward. This time bring your hand back so that it's right where the fingers and palm meet, and then roll all the way back, hand squishing the other hand a little, fingers getting pulled longer. Roll forward. Last time, roll back. Get that hand out of there, fingers stay flat, don't tuck them in. Good. And roll all the way back. Good, one quick counter stretch. Reach through hands, roll back, open and close. How are we doing?
Good.
Your hands are doing a lot better.
They are better. It's a little painful, but not like it was.
Good.
It's a little painful.
Okay, well, don't go to pain.
I know. I think it's just arthritis.
Yeah.
It hurts if I don't do anything. When I wake up in the morning, they're very stiff. So that helps.
So the stretching should open it. Good.
Okay.
All right, and it feels easier.
Yeah.
It's progressively good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hands into the mat, press into the feet, walk it forward. You've been sitting in that stretching the knees for a while. How are the knees doing? Good. Okay, if that's too much, you can always put your bolster there. Let's keep hands on the ground. Inner spiral the hands just a little, not all the way, but just about maybe 10 degrees in. So your fingers are diagonally pointing toward each other. Let your belly drop, let your chest drop, let your head drop. Breathe, inhale. As you exhale, push into your hands just enough to pick your ribs up a little bit. So you're going to slide your shoulder blades off the back just about halfway. Then lift your belly up, let your hips drop under. Don't squeeze glutes. Press through hands, try to pick your ribs up a little more. Good. And then drop the head and chest back down. Drop your ribs first, then release hips, let them sweep back. Good. Now keep the belly drop. Sit back a little bit like that. Don't let your tail tuck under. As soon as your tail tries to roll under, it's too far. Good. Feel that groin stretch? Good. Press through the tops of the feet to come forward. Deliver the weight into the shoulder blades. Keep the head dropped. Keep coming forward. Let your hips drop a little. Heels hug in. Press through your hands to pick up the ribs. Heels roll out. So heels all the way out. Lift your low belly. Good. Release your glutes. Let knees spread a little bit. Let the chest drop down. Hips scoop back. Sit back like that. You're trying to sit into the groin stretch. Tucking your tail under will prevent you from feeling the groin stretch. Good. Feel that open more? Breathe. You don't have to sit all the way back. You sit to where your stretch is. Now press through the ankles, not the tops of the feet so much. I've said that and I've seen people do this, where the ankle bulges up off the mat. I don't want to see that. I want to see heels out, top of the ankle as much down to the mat as you can. If ankles aren't down to the mat, you may want to put a little purple bolster there, a little purple primarily color there. Come forward. Drop the belly, drop the chest, drop the head. Now keep coming forward. See if you can lean out past your hands until your hips fully release and they're totally flat. Keep leaning. You're going to need more length. Walk your hands forward. That's it. Good, now press in hands to pick up ribs. Then lift your belly, sit back about halfway. Drop your head and suck the ribs up higher, really pushing through the thumb knuckles, these bottom two thumb knuckles, to spread the shoulder blades off the back. Good. Drop your head and suck the belly up, hold. Inhale. As you exhale, pull your heels in, trying to put the inner feet into the mat more. Good. And then roll your heels back out, drop your chest down, let your hips sweep back. Sit back in your groin stretch one last time. Good job. Don't let the tail tuck. Yes. Press into the feet to come forward. See if you can press into hands, pick up ribs, and pick up knees. Good. Now push into the thumb knuckles. Drop your head. Suck the belly up. Good. Maybe you can come all the way to the tops of the feet and roll over the toes. If not, put your feet back down and push back to down dog. Keep the hands in that funny shape. Yeah, don't do that with your foot. Keep your hands in that funny shape. Hands are a little turned in still. So I want you to feel these two thumb knuckles, the bottom two right here at the base of the hand. Yeah? That should be, if the hands are turned too far and you can't handle it, turn them back out a little. But try to have a little turned in. Feel those bottom two thumb knuckles and your index knuckle grab the mat. Then come forward, chest over hands a little. Good? Drop your chest into the shoulder blades. Let shoulder blades slide together. Then press the mat away. Suck your uppermost ribs up. Hips go back. Chest reaches back. You should feel very long in your side body. And then you can drop the head. Breathe. Keep the pressure in the thumbs. Take hips over to the right. Really sweep hips right. Push into the right hand a little bit. Try to wrap your left armpit down like you're going to twist and look under the right shoulder blade. Come back. Hips go left. Good. Try to sweep that right armpit down and look under left shoulder blade. Feel that stretch out of the side. Come back to the center. Good. And come forward again. Push into the toes. Suck the belly up. Push into your hands to pick ribs up or to push ribs up. Keep coming forward. Bend your knees and then don't let them touch the mat. Hold. Okay, straighten the right leg back and then bend. Straighten left leg back. Bend. Bring them both down. Sit back. Keep your toes tucked. Walk the knees back a little deeper so that the toes are tucked more. Sit back on your heels like that. Drop the head into the mat. Breathe. How are we doing? Getting warm? Mm-hmm. 2 more. You should have walked knees back far enough that feet are on a stretch while you're sitting here. Pull heels out away from center. Feel how that opens the front of the hips a little bit more. Maybe you can rock side to side and hips a little. And then pull heels back in. Keep the hips released. Press into the ball of the foot to come back up. Let the chest drop into the shoulder blades. Let your head drop. Let your belly hang. Yeah, I'm not flexing my back. I'm just hanging into the shoulder blades. Arms have to stay straight, so hands are really spread. Okay, now push into your hands. Pushing the floor away, slide shoulder blades apart, ribs come to neutral. Then drop hips on your low belly, lifts a little bit, keep hips swinging free. Good, then press in hands, bring your ribs up higher. How high can you get your ribs into the back body? You keep that pressure in your hands, but you let your head release. Then press through the feet, knees come off the ground a little, heels reaching back. Lift your low belly up, keep the pressure in your hands. Reach your right heel back, right heel to the mat as much as possible. Now take your hips back, elongate your whole core, hips reach back. Good, bring it back forward, low belly lifting, round, left knee toward the mat, then switch, right knee reaching toward the mat, sitting bones back, hips reach back, hands really press, elongate your side, push your ribs back out of the shoulder blades, hold from hips, good, then come back forward, bend the knee, bring it down. Good. Turn so fingers face out now. Fingers almost to the edge of the mat. Thumbs are parallel though. Don't turn out too far so thumbs aren't parallel. Fingers make a check mark, these 2 fingers. Okay. From here, slide the right foot back, heel passing the toes. Your hands should be far enough in front of you that when you press back, you're behind the hands and you can feel the stretch in the calf. You guys feel that? Tuck the toes.
I can't.
You can't?
No, this is the hurt foot.
Oh, that's the foot that's in
And
there.
it hurts, yeah.
All right. Keep the heel pressing back. Keep your shoulder blades pulling back so you feel the serratus, the muscles that run along the ribs. shoulders away from ears. Then pick your ribs up just a millimeter, just enough to feel like you got a little corset around your ribs. Now when you press back, keep that. Don't go to down dog, go to somewhere between down dog and plank, keeping that corset, heel dropping down. Good, now reach the right sitting bone up a little, keeping the corset. Yeah, feel that stretch in the back of the leg. Feel the serratus still? Good, now see if you can do this. Staying forward, back of the neck is long. Pick your ribs up by pushing into hands. Unlock the back. Good, and then drop back down into the shoulder girdle. Do it again, push your hands, pick your ribs up, and then drop back down. Good, bringing you back to the floor. Good, very nice, one more, other side. Take the leg back, keep the toes tucked. Try to get your toes to get stuck on the mat and your heel to pass them. Then pull your shoulder blades down the side of the body. Let's play with shoulders for a minute. Bring your right shoulder blade forward. Think of rolling it in and inner spiraling. Then pull it back. Bring your left shoulder blade forward, inner spiral arm. Then pull it back. Feel the shoulder blades move freely on the ribs. Pull them both back. Push through hands to pick ribs up. Just silence that. Keep the ribs in, keep the serratus, and then use left heel reaching back, and use the opposition of hands keeping their ground, heel reaching back, serratus and ribs in. Keep the back of the neck long. Don't drop your head back through your arms. That pops ribs up to make you tough. Keep it long though. Don't pick it up either. Okay, breathe. Keep reaching the sitting bones back, keeping shoulders back. Feel that stretch in the back of the leg. Stay forward enough that you can pick your ribs up in the shoulder girdle by pressing the thumb knuckles. And then drop back down. One more time, pick your ribs up. Let your head drop through now. And then unfold, come back down. Last one here, I promise. Turn the fingers face in a little. Good. Tuck the toes. Same thing, slide the right foot back. Body's behind your hands. Shoulder blades are back to feel serratus. Push through thumbs to pick ribs up a touch. Force it back, heel back. Hold. Now sitting bones reach up. That's it, keeping the ribs. Feel how sitting bones get to reach away from ribs that way. Okay, good. Bring your left leg straight back and up. Keep that right heel down. That's it. Open up the hip. Drop the chest. Head as high as you can, then bring it back down. Bring the knee in, keep your hips back. And then come forward, bring it to the mat. Switch, last one. Tuck toes, take it back. Make sure your body's behind your hands. You should really feel thumb knuckles right now. Shoulder blades pull back, push through hands to pick up ribs a little. Good, then press back, heel back. Good, now sitting bones reach back. Breathe. Okay, stay here for a minute. Push into the thumb knuckles, come forward just a touch toward plank and try to pick your ribs up here. If you push through thumb knuckles, it may help you pull the ribs up. You feel that? Now hips reach back, ribs drop down. Now reach your right leg back, roll open in the hip, drop your chest back. Good. And bring it back down, knee in. Come forward and step down to the mat. Good. Tuck your toes, sit back on the feet, walking the knees back. Turn your hands backwards. One more stretch. They should be very awake. Good. Roll back through your right hand, peeling off the mat. Let the belly drop forward. Sitting into the feet, but sitting bones back. Roll back through your left hand. Roll forward. Put pressure in both hands. Drop the chest, drop the head, shoulder blades slide together. Then press the mat away, spreading shoulder blades. Push into big toes only. Lift your low belly, but keep hips sitting on heels. Don't squeeze your glutes. Keep pressing through hands to spread shoulders. Drop your head. And then unfold it. Open up the chest. Drop chest into shoulder blades. Drop your belly forward, sitting bones back. One more time. Press into hands. Keep a little bend in elbows. Try to keep shoulder blades spreading until ribs come to neutral. Then low belly rolls hips under. Hips feel like they're dropping heavier to heels. Drop your head in to pull ribs a little further back. Breathe. Press into big toes to lift and move on the pelvic floor. Then start dropping head forward into hands, then ribs, then belly spills. Roll out of it with the right hand, come to knuckles. Roll out of it with the left hand, come to knuckles. Good, how are we done? Yeah? Pick the knees up. Sit back on the feet. Bring your hands back. Heels toward the mat. Good. Press into the ball of the foot. Come high onto the toes. Good. Keep the knees pulling in, and the heels pull open a little. And go the other way. Pull your inner feet in, open the knees. Let your hips drop to heels. Drop heels all the way back, just working feet. Drop your head. Release the hips. One more time. Grab the mat with the ball of the foot and the toes. Pick your heels up and forward. It should feel like ankles are going forward. Hips drop and scoop into that. And then pull it back and down. Very good. This time try to balance here. Grab the mat with toes, pick it up, inner feet trying to touch. Hips on heels, heels against hips. Come up to 1 or 2 fingers. Inner spiral, arms so elbows are wide, then pull shoulder blades down, belly up. Try to find your balance here, keeping elbows wide. Breathe. Good. If you have your balance, maybe you can drive down through the feet, come a little bit up. Sit back down. Hands to the mat, bring the hips up. Keep the fingers tented out in front, drop your head. Lower one heel toward the mat, staggering hips. Bring it back up. Lower the other heel toward the mat, staggering hips. Bring it back up. One more each side, and then we're going to go to the mat, I promise. Last one, drop it down. Good, both heels lower. Stay in that Uttanasana, fold over the legs. Breathe. Two more breaths. Good. Bring your feet to mat width. And then if you know you're pretty tight in your hamstrings, you can grab blocks for this. I'll show you both ways. If you're fine in your hamstrings, no need. You're going to keep your feet mat width. Turn so fingers face in. Shift your hips to the left. Now notice, most people try to use upper body and shoulders to move hips. I don't want you to do that. I want you to use your feet. So your big toes on the mat, your heels are a little off the mat. Drop chest into shoulder blades. Roll into the inner arch of your right foot, lift outer foot. Roll to outer left foot a little. So your left hip gets out of the way and use the feet to send your hips left. You should feel from that inner right foot through the groin up to the right low belly. Good. Now bring your right shoulder forward, bend the elbow forward a little. And then reach straight. To go back the other way, roll to inner left foot. Outer right foot. Use your feet to shift the hips across. Good. How are we doing? Try to bring your left elbow forward. Sit your left hip back. Bring it back up. Come back across. Now you don't have to shift the feet as far. Toes can grab the mat, but use your feet to slowly shift the hips back and forth. Really roll into inner feet. Try to feel inner feet right up to low belly, through groin. That's what's shifting hips. Keep your chest soft and dropped. If hands are on the mat, you can either have tented fingers, but chest has to be able to drop, or you can have flat hands if you have a real deep hamstring stretch, and you can still drop the chest. If your back is pulling up, you can't roll through your hips. The lats are attached into the low back. They're pulling up too much. You're not going to be able to feel what I want you to feel in your hips. All right, let's stay here. Shift your hips over to the left with your feet. Bring your right hand to the ground if it's not, or maybe you need to bring it to your block. Your hands make an L. Left fingers are facing in, right fingers are facing forward. I'm going to move my block because I don't need it. You're going to bend both elbows like you're opening a window. The elbows come away from each other. You're trying to slide this left shoulder blade up the back. And then using your hand, right hand pulling across to the right, left hand helping you twist from shoulder blades. Good. Keep your right hip across. Sit back in the hips a little. Now reach the right arm across for the leg. Pull into a deeper twist. Breathe. Keeping that, shift your hips back to the right using the feet. Drop the head and shift left. When you roll to the inner left foot to shift your hips right, you should start feeling the right shoulder blade slide off the right ribs if you keep your grip on the left leg. Shift that. Two more. Shift across. Let your head truly drop. Shoulder blades release. They're doing separate things. Shift it back. Last one, shift across. And then shift back. Bring your hand out of it. Back to third level. Switch. Bring your left hand to the ground. Bend your right elbow forward. Try to get that elbow right above the block. You can do this on the floor too. It's actually a little deeper at first when you do it on the block. Okay? Plus your fingers get to drop over the edge. Bring your left arm across, twist it. Hold on to that right leg. Breathe. Okay, go ahead and shift your hips left. Try to keep your right elbow above the wrist. And shift back to the right. Switch, shift left, roll in from the feet. Let that left shoulder reach down. Elbow kind of reaches out and forward to the mat and forward to open up the left ribs. Shift back to the right. Both elbows are going out and forward. Shift left, drop the head in. Shift right. One more time, shift left. Keep your chin tucked in so the uppermost ribs can pull a little. And back to the right. Good, bring hands back to the middle. How are we doing? Yeah, okay. Let's heel toe your, actually stay here. Heels a little wider than toes. Roll to both inner feet. Now shift your hips to the right using that left foot, but keep your right inner foot rolled in. So it's creating a boundary. From there, sit further back in your right hip. Switch, roll hips left, keep that left inner foot in, sit further back. Drop your head. Switch. And switch, so feet stay really active. Switch. Good. Now heel toe your feet further out. Possibly come down the second level. Bring your blocks out in front. Try to squeeze, hands around the blocks. Heels really wider than toes here. A decent amount of pigeon toe, lifting outer feet. Chest has to be able to drop into the shoulder blades. So if you need to be on third level, be there. I'm not crunching back. I'm just letting ribs hang into my shoulder girdle. So come forward. No, leave your blocks. Bring your body forward. Now drop chest. There you go. Feel the difference? Okay, so most people are going to need to shift the whole body more over the blocks, then your chest will drop into shoulders, drop head. Keeping the ribs dropped, which helps drop the pelvic bowl, bend your knees. And just like we were on the knees, sit back into that stretch, into a groin stretch. As soon as your tail tries to turn under, you're done. Yeah, keep sitting bones reaching up. Drop your head, drop your ribs, so you can come down toward the mat a little deeper. Feel the groin. And you should feel your feet working a lot too. Breathe. You can let your head rest on the ground if it's close. Bring it back up and come forward. One more time. Come forward until you're almost like you're in a plank. Blocks further forward. Could be feet a little wider too. Good. Drop chest into shoulder blades. And then feel how that helps you drop your pelvic bowl below the hips. Pelvic bowl has to be dropped below the hips. Then bend knees a little. Good. Without tucking tail. Keep the pelvic bowl dropped. Yeah, you went back too far, too fast. Come forward. Drop the chest, drop the pelvic bowl. It should feel like you're scooping under something. Think of going under a fence with the hips. Drop the ribs, bend the knees. Sitting back with your sitting bones rising. Drop your chest and chin toward the mat. Feet are doing a lot of work. Stay rolled to that inner foot. Bring it back up, come forward. Good, bring blocks back to third level. Walk your blocks in close to you. Okay, heel toe feet in a little bit more narrow. Roll to inner feet, blocks really close. And like somebody's kind of picking up a tissue from the ground, your upper back's going to be high. Not because it's getting picked up, but because you're pushing down through blocks and sucking belly up into the space you made. Stay in your inner foot. Reach your right knee forward and down for the block. Keep the left hip rolling back as your right hip goes forward. A little odd. Pull it back. Reach your left knee forward and down. It's a little bit of a twist, but it's more separating hips and SI joint in front of hips. Bring it back. Both knees hug in. Suck your belly up higher. Drop the head, pushing the hands to open the back more. Now dig into your heels a little. Sitting bones back to unround. You should feel that in the front of the hips too. Unround. Sitting bones back. Unround. There we go. Good. Feel front of the hips too. Hug knees in to lift low belly. Good. And then push through hands. Rounding. Good. Now reach through heels. Sitting bones back. Drop the ribs to unround. Okay. Last one. Toes grab the mat. Knees come forward. Low belly lifts. Ribs come up. And then unround. Sitting bones back. Ribs drop down. Hold. There you go. Re-straighten your legs with sitting bones that far back if you can. Good. Now shift your body forward a little further. Try to roll your right hip in and down with legs pretty straight. Roll to the inner foot. Bring it back. Roll your left hip in and down. Bring it back. Good. Hips both back. Blocks as far away from you as you can. Think of a down dog, but drop chest down, head down through it. Sitting bones should be reaching up. Breathe. If you need to bend the knees a little to accommodate a hamstring stretch, go ahead and do that. Good. And then bring it back up. Walk your blocks back to you. Heel toe your feet in big sweeps. All the way in. Good. How are we doing?
Good.
Okay, keep heels wider than toes. Bend your left knee, keeping your right leg straight. Let the whole left hip hang. Drop your chest into the shoulders. Drop your head. Tip your hips back. Bring your left elbow inside the left knee, palm facing out. Bring your right hand, connect the palms in prayer, and you're going to press right hand into left a little. Try to twist your right ribs open. Drop your chin in. Let the neck release. Soften whatever's not working. You don't need to be that as tense. Feel your feet trying to balance you. Stay rolled to your inner feet and lift your low belly as you twist. Good. You guys feel that? Okay. Now drop your right elbow wide and down. Trying to square your prayer to the ground. Drop your head. Good. Hands to the mat, or hands to your blocks actually, since we have them. Switch. Straighten your left leg. Bend your right knee. Let your whole right hip hang off the SI joint. You're literally letting the right hip drop. It's totally loose and release. Don't let it cross your center line down. Okay, from there, sit back a little bit. Keep the ribs dropped into shoulders. Drop your head. Okay. Now position your right elbow inside the right knee. Push it out a little, but then the right knee meets it with a little bit of pressure, and that helps you reach your sitting bone back further. Left hand comes on top of the right in your prayer. Press your left hand into right, just softly opening those left ribs up. Keep sitting back. Stay in both inner feet. Drop your head. Let it drape. Suck the belly up. Breathe. Stay in your right foot too. Don't lean left. Then reach your left elbow wide. Your right knee will open a little. Drop down inside that left hip. Really let the spine lengthen down. Breathe. Good. And hands back to your blocks. How are we doing?
Good.
Yeah? Feeling hips? Feeling everything? Feeling hands, we're going to lay down right after this. I already said that once, but I lied. All right. Last time. Come up. One more hip separation. I want to do hamstrings before we lay down. Okay, when you drop your left heel, stay in your inner right foot and let the hips stagger. And pick it back up. Drop the right heel to drop the right hip. Let both legs stay straight here. Bring it back up. This is a staggering in the hips. I don't care if heel touches the ground. I want legs straight, inner foot in. Feel that right inner foot working to keep your right hip up. Bring the left up. When your right heel drops, it's your left inner foot that's in. Up through groin, up through low belly. Bring it back up. Good, now drop the left. Keep your right inner foot up. See if you can sweep your left leg straight back. There should have been no weight in it. Good. Roll the hip up and lower the right heel down. See how far back you can sit into that right heel, reaching the left leg back. If you're pretty far back, you can bring your left hand, or your right hand, excuse me, to the ground, and it's an easy Ardha Chandrasana. If you're really forward, that balance gets hard. You guys feel that? Bring it back. Put it down. Okay. Now with feet flat, lift your right, or lift your left arch up. Grab the ground with your left big toe to roll to the outer foot a little, lifting the inner arch. Suck the left low belly up. Now try to pick your right hip up like that. Good. Fill in the low belly. Drop back down. Same thing on the other side. Lift your right inner arch. Big toe grabbing the mat. Lift right up into right low belly. Pick the hip up from low belly. Now, can you keep that and drop your ribs into the shoulder blades? Let your back go. Lift your ribs back up. Move them freely. Drop them back down. Good. Put the hip back down. Good. Side two. Bring the toes up. Which leg are we on?
Right.
Right leg up?
Yeah.
Good thing one of us keeps track. All right. Stay driving into that left big toe. Keep the arch of your left foot lifted. Keep that strong and lift your low belly. Now drop your ribs. Let your back release. Sweep the right leg straight back. Good. Lower your left heel slowly. Toes holding onto the mat. Tip your hips back. Sitting back further. Toes still grabbing the mat. If you're there, it's an easy Ardha Chandrasana because you have very little weight. Forward. Good. Bring it back to your block and bring the foot down. Good job. Are we ready to lay down?
Yes.
Come down to the mat. Good. All right, let's put blocks behind you. Have a seat. And you might as well bring some other toys next to you that we'll use. Grab your orange bolster. Ball. Some little balls. Alright. Okay.
We need the big purple.
Are you missing the purple? Yeah. I got it. Alright. Ready? Yep. Good catch. Okay. So, gonna do a little bit of shoulders without any hips involved. So you can actually focus on shoulders and hands a little bit.
Hands? Mine are gone. We need a cast to get home.
Fingers facing forward. Feet close to your hips, and then bring your hips to your heels a little, tail under more. Good. Now spread your fingers out. If fingers are done, you can drop them off the front of the blocks, and it's a little less of a hand stretch. Then bring your hips a little more forward, probably roll the shoulders forward, and elbows pull wide. So that should be pulling the shoulder blades off the back, and that forward feeling should pull your collarbone right here off the rib cage. That's what you want to be feeling. Okay. Elbows wide, fingers feel like they're turning to face in. Press the feet a little to drop pelvic bowl back. Chin in. Good, now press through your arms to straighten further. Shoulders come down inside the ribs. Roll forward on sitting bones. Roll your shoulders back. Open chest, lift your belly, don't use your back. Good, then sink into your shoulders. Roll them forward, roll the hips all the way back, and bend elbows out to the sides. Good, feeling that compartmentalized, very separate. Your hips have to be a lot further forward. If your elbows go behind your hands, you just feel like you're falling. You don't
My
need to
wrists are
stretch.
shot. I
Okay.
can't do
Then
anything.
you're gonna go hands to the floor, or you can do this. You can just roll shoulders forward and back. You won't bend as far, but you can still feel it. Okay, last one. Roll the shoulders forward, bend elbows out, lean into your right hand. Really keep the right shoulder forward. Now just roll that right shoulder back, and then forward again. Feel that shoulder blade move around ribs. One more, roll it back, and then forward. Switch, lean into your left hand. Roll your left shoulder up and back, and then up and forward. One more, up and back, up and forward. Do them both. Roll back, top of the head forward, roll forward. Press your hands to come up. Good, how are we going? Those shoulders and hands, quite a bit, yeah? All right, so the other way, if your hands are done and your wrists are wanting to be straight, is to put knuckles in the mat, thumbs out to the sides, fingers are not tucked in. Don't break off your first knuckle. Good, and then hips to heels. So to bend your elbows are gonna go right above your wrists. Then roll shoulders forward. Good, roll the shoulders back, elbows can come together a little. Roll the shoulders forward. Good, so up on the knuckles. Wrists should be straight. There we go, that. Good, like you're punching the ground. Yeah. Bend your elbows back. Your elbows can't pass the wrist though, because then you'll have that collapse happen. So you have to be far enough forward for sure on this one. Roll shoulders forward, chin in, suck the belly back, ribs back. Then roll just the right shoulder back, elbow can come in, roll it forward again. Roll left shoulder back, elbow pulls in and down, roll it forward again. I'll roll them both back, press through knuckles, flatten out your hands. Good. Try to just bend the fingers under. Elbow back and let go. Bend the fingers under. And let it go. Good job. All right, move your blocks. You get to lay down. Actually, keep one block. No, keep no blocks today. Grab your purple ball. And your bolster under the legs. Start pretty high up your mat, because as usual, we're going to start with the ball under the back and make our way forward, ball rolling up the spine. So start at the top of your mat so you have room to roll down it. Okay, don't start with the ball all the way in the low back, the way we do when the block is there. Start with it a little higher than lumbar spine, not much. And then tail under. Pop your hips forward more. Good. Okay, keeping the bolster forward, hands under your head, legs over the bolster. Good. Interlace the fingers. Hands pull head forward from the serratus, from underneath. So Really use your shoulder blades coming down into the ball and then forward. And that's what puts pressure in your hand. Keep the base of the hand clamping in on your head. Chin tucks in and down, back of the neck dropping back into that boundary your hands are giving you. And then let your ribs open. Good, breathe. So you're letting the upper back follow the arc of the ball. Shoulders drop down into the ball a little bit deeper. Keep dropping back. Let the ribs open more. To come back up, feel those middle abs inside your ribs. Pull the ribs in and down. Don't tuck hips though. Round forward. Good. Let the belly release. Start leaning back. Open your ribs. When ribs are open and your chin is back, hold. Reach your right shoulder blade up off the back. Reach that shoulder blade up, let it slide, and then bring it down. Reach the left shoulder blade up off the back. And then bring it down. Get your shoulder blade to slide. Don't let it be stuck to the rib cage. Reach it up. Bring it down. If you can't get it unstuck, reach the whole arm up. And then bring it back. Switch. Reach the whole arm up. And then bring it back. Okay. If you want to do both, reach both shoulders up and then drop them both down. Okay, support the head. You'll feel why after you've done that once. Lay back, ribs opening, shoulder blades into your ball. And then bring it back up. Good. Okay, if that does not feel awesome, the next one does. You're going to dig heels into the mat. Pull by bending the knees and your hips, push the bolster forward. Your ball should end up behind the shoulder blades. Legs over the bolster again. Hands behind the head. Same thing we did a minute ago, only now it should be a lot easier. Reach that right shoulder blade forward. Bring your left shoulder blade down and roll a little to the right on your ball. Switch. Bring the right shoulder blade into the ball. Reach the left shoulder blade forward and up, roll a little left. Switch. Make a little half pipes across your ball. Good. Switch. Loosen up the chest and ribs and hips. It's a lot easier if you just trust the ball and let weight come into the ball as you go back and forth. Sink the belly. Sink the belly. Come to the middle. Reach both shoulder blades up. Chin back. Then both shoulder blades come down. Lay back over the ball. And you should be able to follow the line of it. Good. And then pull just your head up from the shoulder blades. Then drop ribs down. Reach elbows forward. Good. One more time. Shoulder blades drop into the ball. Like you're squeezing the ball or poking the ball with the back of the shoulders. Your hands are still pulling head forward when that happens. That's what creates your neck stretch. Hips are released. Lay back over the ball. If shoulder blades stay pulled down, they cause a little break point in the middle of the back of the thoracic spine, so that'll bend and you can come up and over the ball more. Then keep shoulder blades down. Bring the head back up. Good. Alright, so now you can hop forward one more time. Bring your hips forward one more time, one more time. Good. Hands to your bolster, push it away, and then feet to your bolster. Heels as wide as the bolster. Hands still behind the head, keeping it pressed forward, knees rest in on each other. Good. Keep your knees resting and lift your outer feet like we've been working on, trying to keep the big toe down. That should really work the feet. Okay? Now you're going to try to slide your right knee down the inside of the left knee. Don't let your left knee bail out of the way. Your right hip has to sort of half circle around the left hip to reach forward. At the same time, you're going to pull forward from low belly. Roll your ball a little right and a little forward to bring that hip forward. Good. Feel that stretch in the hip? Good. Breathe. Chin in. Let's see if you can isolate it. Bring your right arm up. Spread the fingers. Soften the arm and the elbow. Let your hand and wrist be loose. Drop the shoulder blade back. Let it go as far behind you as it can. Way back over the ball. That right arm's dead. It's open. Good. Feel that right hip and ribs open more.
Does your right knee go to the bolster?
If it can, without your back arching.
Okay.
Left foot keeps pressure so back doesn't arch. Okay. Then see if you can bring your head up from your left serratus. Keep the right arm back. Yep. Keep it draped there. Then slowly drag the right arm up from the serratus. Keep a little pressure in your left foot, sucking the belly back. Roll the right hip back. Knees rest again. You guys feeling that?
Mm-hmm.
Good? Okay. Keep knees resting. So when I say rest, that doesn't mean they're pulling in. If the front of your hips are tight, knees won't rest very easily. Feet may have to narrow in order for knees to rest. When I say knees rest, that means if one moves, the other should drop past that spot. Okay? The knees have to find a point where they rest. Okay? Then you're going to slide the left knee inside the right knee. Lift your outer left foot. Keep the right knee inside the hip a little bit. The only way the left hip gets to go is if it's willing to release away from the right, that SI joint being separate. Don't let your back arch and roll forward on the tail. The right foot has enough pressure to keep your low belly sucking down. Then you have to be patient once you find the low belly until this little clump of muscle decides to let go and separate from the low belly. Rather than all of this staying in one piece and the back just arches. That isn't it. You feel what I'm talking about? Okay, the right foot keeps you in there. Now bring your left arm up, spread the fingers a little bit to make sure you're not clenching or doing anything funny in the wrist. Wrist is released. Okay, let the arm release, let the shoulder drop. Then let your arm go back. Keep your right hand pulling the head forward from your right serratus as your left arm reaches back. Feel it opens the ribs more. But the right foot pressing keeps you from arching. Feel that? Then lay back, letting ribs open, keeping low back a little sunk. Breathe. Now use your right serratus to pull that right shoulder blade down and your head up. Keep the left arm dropped back. Sink the belly. Slowly drag the left arm up from underneath, sinking the belly deeper as you do. Good. You should feel a little pull right inside the pelvic bowl line there. Push into the right foot to come back up. Yeah? You getting that? Good. So like Serratorus growing all the way up through here. Both hands behind your head. Let's pay attention a little more to hips this time. Lift your outer feet again. And it's feet. The feet-hip connection is what we're going to pay attention to. Drop the right knee in. Doesn't have to go very far. Now push with the ball of the foot so your ankle points a little. Yep. And then pull your heel back to the right. Keeping the heel pulled back to the right, bring your left knee in, and both hips reach to the right heel a little bit, keeping that foot flexed. Now that comes into your inner knee. It comes into the front of the hip and hopefully opens that part of the pelvic bowl away from you to the right. Feel that a little bit? Okay, now push through the left knee to bring it back. Switch. Lifting your outer foot, drop your left knee inside the right hip. Keep the right knee in. I don't care how far the knee drops. Use the ball of the foot, the index knuckle, point your ankle. Toes can stay flexed. Then pull your heel back as far as you can. Right knee in, hip drops back to that left heel. Keeping the foot flexed, you should feel a little deeper stretch or a little more separation in the hip and knee. You guys feel that? Good. Go ahead and lay back over the bolster. And then bring it back up. Now keep the feet active. Keep your head. Your head should be able to lay on the ball. It should be able to lay over the back of the ball a little bit, but on the ball. So it helps you open your ribs. But at the same time, you have enough spine off the ball so you can suck the belly down. Okay? Drop the right knee across, keeping left knee in. Feel how that space between rib cage and pelvis is where you're sinking the belly. Good. Now flex that right heel away. Bring your left knee in and bring your ribs a little to the right so your right hip can go towards your right heel more. And then bring it back up. One more on the left. Drop the left knee across. Think of rolling your ball a little to the left with your ribs. Flex the left heel. Keep the right knee in, right foot pushing, and your left hip drops forward more toward left heel. Bring your right shoulder blade down to push your ribs left a little, like you're pulling down on the right side just a touch. And then bring it back up. Good. You guys feeling that? All right. Pull the head up. Good. And now bring your feet in a little closer, not much. Heels are still wider than toes, knees resting. Keep your hands behind your head. Push with feet to suck the belly down to the mat. Ribs don't close though, they stay away, leaning back over the ball. Then drop the pubic bone forward. If knees are touching, you should feel this in the front of the hips. Do it again. Suck belly back, tiny pressure in your feet, and don't squeeze glutes together. That's why heels are open, keep that open. When you drop forward, it should feel like that opens even more. I don't care if you pull it open. Push it through at home. Do it again. Little pressure in feet. Suck back with low belly. The front of the hip should feel like they're opening out and around as low belly sinks back. And then drop the hips back forward again. Good. How are we doing? Good. One more time, a little pressure in your feet, suck the belly back this time. Lay back over the ball, put your head down, reach your arms back. The shoulder blades should be supported by the ball. The neck should be long. Pull it out long so it follows the arc of the ball. Good. Feel that stretch in chest and shoulders too? That should make it really easy for your ribs to be a little bit open and your belly to sink inside the ribs. Add a little pressure in the feet, and it's really easy for the low belly to sink with ribs open. And let that pressure go, hips drop forward again. Yeah, do it again. A little pressure from feet, same movement we were doing. But now it should be a lot easier to keep ribs open. And then drop forward. One more time, a little pressure from feet. Drop forward. And now slowly bring arms out to the sides. Let your shoulder blades do what they do on their own. Don't try to affect the movement. Don't tighten hands and wrists. Just feel the collarbones roll away from the neck. Good. Then bring just the left arm back. Keep it heavy. Take it out. Feel your collarbone come away from neck. Turn your head a little right, opening the neck. Good, guys. Feel that space across the left chest and collarbone. Turn your head a touch left. Bring the right arm back. Let it rest into the soft tissue, into your stretch. Then take it out to the side, head turning a little left as that right collarbone opens. Good, let it go. Now let's come back toward each other, arms still resting into the stretch. Interlace fingers, make your little yoga gun. Reach through the thumb side of your hand like you're breaking the wrist, pointing the fingers to the ceiling, thumbs reaching straight back. Pull the arms up. When the arms are pointed totally forward, outer spiral, reach the shoulder blades, and keep dropping the hands to the knees. Pick your head up, drop the ribs into the mat. Good, now pubic bone goes forward. That's it. And shoulders drop back to the ball. And reach forward. Do it again, shoulders back to the ball. Suck the belly away from the hips. Reach forward. Good. Open your knees, push the bolster further away. Hop the hips forward one more time, just touch. Your head should still be free from the ball, but your whole thoracic spine is supported, or just the top of it. Just cervical spine is free. See if we can play with the feet a little bit. Hold on to the ankle, the knee, the calf, whatever you can reach. Pull the foot outside the hip, knee rolls inside the hip. Other hand supports your head. Try to tuck your toes. If you can reach, pull the toes under with your hand. Move the hand enough to put toes into the ground, pushing the ankle forward, and then roll it out and back in. Now see if you can keep that. Keep your right knee in. Think of your left knee going up and over, flattening that foot to the mat more. And then pull back up, stretching the foot. Do it again. Up and over, forward, stretching hip 2. And then pull back up from low belly. Roll back out of the foot, come to the toes. Good. How are we doing? One more time. Tuck the toes under. Maybe bring them a little wider, a little further back this time. Roll it forward and across. Good. Bring your ribs to the left a little bit. Bring your right knee in. Sucking the belly down into the mat. Pushing through the right foot, just like we did before, to pull your low belly back and down. Feel that stretch all the way down to the hip and knee?
I think I'm going the wrong way.
The left knee goes across your center line. Your ribs go left. Your right leg comes in. Sink the belly down. So the legs come together to create some slack in the hips so the belly can sink down. And then come back. Bring that foot out of the stretch. Roll through ankle a couple times and switch. Okay, reach your right hand forward for the right ankle, foot, whatever you can hold. Pull the foot outside the hip. Knee rolls in. Do a little inner spiral. Tuck the toes, put them into the mat. Get your foot used to that. Roll to the outside of the ankle with the ball of the foot, the base of the foot forward, and then pull it back. One more time, roll into it. Now see if the knee can go across the center line. Keep your left knee in. Sink your belly down. Good. And then push through the left foot. Try to come back up on top of that foot. Do it again. Right knee goes forward. Right foot is forward. Good. Now bring your ribs a little to the right. Sink your low belly. A little pressure in the left foot to drop a little deeper. And then bring it back up. Take your foot out of that stretch. Good. How are we doing? Yeah. Roll through ankle a couple times. Good. Now hop forward until just your head is on the ball. Push the ball back until just head and neck, I should say, are on the ball. Your eyes are decidedly gazing forward. Your chin is dropping down, just soft. Okay, so the ball should be pushing your head forward. And it should be stuck there. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take Baddha Konasana in the feet, Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, toes hang off the front of your bolster. Knees should be able to rest or be close to resting, or at least your tail you shouldn't be rocked forward on your tail. You should be able to anchor the low belly back without squeezing your glutes. If that's not you, push the bolster a little further away and then put your heels together, toes apart on it. Keep the heels lifted with a little pressure in the feet to keep your low belly sucked back. Okay, bring the arms up, let your shoulders drop down, and then really soft in the chest and shoulders. Let arms drop back to open ribs. Sink the low belly out of the hips. If you're having to put pressure, see if you can slide the feet further away and soften the knees down, sinking the low belly. Good. So as long as your low back doesn't arch or hurt here, you're good. Breathe. Okay. Now slowly start to drag the arms up from the serratus, from underneath. It should feel like you're pulling the shoulder blade into the ribs, down the side of the ribs. So pull the elbow point forward slowly. Once the arms are up, hold. Spread fingers a little. Slide your right shoulder blade up off the back. And then drop it back to the mat. Slide left shoulder blade up off the mat. Drop it back down. Slide both shoulder blades up, shin down, neck back. Reach the arms back. Keep your neck pressed into the ball. Now that lets you open a little more out of the hips. Ribs are open, low belly sucking down and out of the front of the hips. So you're not rocking forward on your tail, you're pulling back. If anything, feet are pushing the mat forward to help pull back. Good. Now pull your knees back up. And then once knees are in, let's make heels wider than toes again. Knees drop into each other. Now push into feet, suck your belly back with ribs open. It should be very easy to drop the low back to the mat and release it. Okay, this time, see if you can do that same thing, but push neck back into the ball, roll the hips up, all the way up. Keep neck pushed back, lift arms a little bit from serratus. Now drop the right knee inside the left, slowly put left hip down. Pick it back up. Slide your left knee inside the right toward right ankle, put the right hip down. Bring it back up, just trying to make sure hips are separate from ribs. Now release your glutes, let hips slowly drop, suck the belly down. Lumbar spine rolling down one vertebrae at a time, and then hips release all the way forward. Good. You guys go on that? One more. A little pressure in feet. If it wasn't easy to do the knee thing, bring your heels wider and let your knees rest more in. Suck the belly back, bring lumbar spine to the ground without closing ribs. If you try to close ribs, there's no space and the abs pooch up. Instead, it's a low belly sucking down. Then you're going to press through the neck. Shoulder blades are reaching back. Reach the knees forward. Reach the right knee further forward, dropping into the left hip. Left hip can touch down. Bring it back up. Reach the left knee further forward. Reach the left arm back. Drop into the right glute. Bring it back up. Knees rest. Hips release. Suck the belly down to bring your lumbar spine to the mat. All the way down. Keep it going forward. Good. Drag the arms up from serratus and middle ab. This is your anchor under the ribs, not ribs. Well, serratus on the outside, core underneath is what you're trying to connect. Good job. And then legs over the bolster. How are we doing? Good. Bring the bolster to you with your feet. Okay. And you're going to pick hips up by pushing with feet. Don't let toes lift off the mat. Once the bolster's under the hips, push into your head a little. Try to roll ribs back further away. Should it? Okay. Alright. And then bring the knees in one at a time. Good. And arms inside the legs. Hands under your heels. Pull the feet open, drop the knees to the mat. Good. Your ribs should still be open here. Don't let your ribs get crushed. So if you need to pull the feet forward a little bit or kind of plug your knees forward a little to have space for your ribs. Do that first, then release the back of the hips to let knees drop. Chin back into the ball, neck back into the ball, also make space for ribs. Tip to your left. Hold on to the right ankle, fold the right foot toward the buttocks, point the toe. Keep the back of your left knee open, let it reach. Then try to drop your right knee forward. Feel your hips start to separate. Your right knee pulling forward will start to pick up your left hip. Let the foot go, try to bring it to the mat close to you, bring your right arm up. Let that shoulder release, hand is loose. Let the right arm drop back, and then reach the right knee forward and a little bit across. Slide the foot out in front of you, reaching out of the hips. Feel how reaching the right hip forward will bring the left hip with it a little bit, let it. Push your neck back into the ball to get more length. Breathe. Notice if your left shoulder blade pulled down to push your ribs right, that's okay, that's one alignment. Let that left shoulder blade come up though now toward the ear, and feel a stretch out of both hips. Breathe. Now bring your right leg out to the right. Roll through the hip until your toes face down and your heel is out. Really bring that leg to you. Slowly drag the right arm up. Bring your hand to groin, fingers facing in, elbows out. Your toes should be trying to come toward the mat. Rock to the right, fingers facing in, push the groin away, pull the left leg away. Really opening hips apart. Ribs are back, neck is back. Good, and bring it back in. Hand goes under the heel. Tip to the right a little bit, let the back of that right leg go. Bring your left foot into the tailbone. Your hand holds the ankle to keep it there. See if you can drop the knee forward. Don't pull hard, just go to where your stretch lets you go. Then let your right hip rise a little so both hips start rolling forward. Push through the neck to help you with that. Soften wherever you're squeezing hard. That's not what this is. Breathe. Now let go of that left foot. It'll pop out. Let it come to the mat, wherever it can rest. If it can't rest, you need a block there. Bring your left arm up. Drop the shoulder blade into the mat. Hand and wrist are loose. Let it drop back a little wide. You're trying to let that collarbone roll back. Okay, now bring your left knee just a little bit across to the right. See if you can't pull out of that hip a little more. And slide the foot forward nice and low. It will bring your right hip forward. Let it. Keep the neck pushing back into the ball a little bit. Breathe. Go ahead and pull the right shoulder blade down, pushing ribs left for a breath. And let that go. Hike your right shoulder up so ribs can come back centered. Sink your low belly out of that left hip more. Breathe. 2 more. Last one. Slowly drag the left arm up from serratus. Bring your left leg out to the side. There is a rolling up and over. If you catch in the hip when you try to do that, you can bend the knee and drag it out to the side. Then once you're over the hip, flex the foot, reach back out. So you either roll through the joint to get there or you bend. Either way, you end up with your leg fully rolled through the joint. So your groin rolls in and down to the ground. Toes are aimed for the mat. Turn so your fingers face you. Elbow up and forward. That should help open the left ribs a little bit. And then softly push the groin away. Let your hips go a little left, ribs a little right. Open up the right leg too. Breathe. Let your belly sink. Keep your hands strong. Neck back. And let the leg come back in. Slide the hand under the heel. Good. You guys feel that groin stretch there?
Mm-hmm.
That's your groin release better, right? Alright, go ahead and bring your hands to ankles. Holding ankles. Inner spiral your arms. So your elbows reach out, making air and making space under the ribs. And then elbows push into the knees. Pull your feet apart with your hands, but keep your elbows torquing knees forward. That reaching through elbows should come from serratus. That's why we've inner spiral. Good. And then you pull your feet toward your head. They're wide though, as your elbows push knees forward. Hands are on ankles, not feet. And feet should be inside the line of your knees. So let's start again. Can you bring your feet in? Good. Okay, hold your ankles. Inner spiral arms so elbows point out. Bring elbows tips of elbows to tips of inner knee. Now keep elbows reaching knee away, pull your feet open a little, right there, that's enough. Now elbows more forward by reaching through serratus, neck back to open ribs. Feel the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Breathe. Try to open those ribs away from the pelvis, let your low back drop, let hips and groin release. One more breath. Good, bring the feet back in, and one foot at a time to the mat. Good. Should feel really good at this point to bring your head off that ball and lay flat. Stay there. How are we doing?
Good.
Okay. Try to bring your bolster up the back as high as you can, and you want your tailbone trying to hang off the front of it a little. Now you have to put support in the feet, not squeezing the butt, pressing with feet. That's a quad pull. That's this muscle pulling. It's like you're pushing the mat forward. It should not be a glute squeeze. We just took a lot of time to separate those. Heel toe the feet apart. Your arms hug your bolster. Shoulders roll a little forward, chin in. Let the knees rest into each other. They have to be able to rest. That keeps your lumbar spine from getting squished too, because when they rest, it's like a kickstand for the hips. They can't go any further. Slide the right knee down the inside of the left. Same concept we've been working on. Let your left inner hip right inside the groin, inside the pelvic bowl. Let that sink too. Let your left sitting bone sink. Feel that stretch differently. Push through left foot to bring it back. Switch. Drop your left knee inside the right shin, keeping the right knee in. Let the right inner hip, the low belly and groin sink into that right sitting bone. Press into the right foot to bring it up. One more each side, drop the right knee across, bring your right arm up, let the shoulder release, and then let a very loose arm drop back. Once the ribs open on the right side, pull the low belly out of the front of that hip a little more. Maybe you can flex your right heel back to the right. Breathe. Drag the right arm up from low belly as your anchor and middle abs inside ribs, and then the serratus outside the ribs, and the ribs never have to get crushed in, which will actually hurt your back right here. You guys feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Good, and then push your left foot to switch. Last one, drop that left knee in and down. Keep the right knee in so that you don't go into low back, sink the belly. Bring left arm up, hand is loose, forearm is loose, you're not controlling from hand. Drop the shoulder blade into the mat. Let your arm go back a little wide. Feel how that opens the left rib more. Good. Once the ribs are open, feel your low belly sink out of the front of the hip. Little pressure from right foot supports it. You can flex that left heel back to the left a little further maybe. Breathe in. If you feel like you're going into low back, reach the right arm up, right shoulder blade off the back. Good. Okay, slowly drag the left arm up. Use the muscles inside the ribs, connecting with serratus outside the ribs, rather than crushing ribs to hips. And then roll it back up. Good. How are we doing? Good. Heel toe the feet in. Push your bolster down to your low back. Try not to lift all the way off your bolster. When you push your bolster, slide it along your spine so it's pulling your spine long. When you get to lumbar spine, hold. Walk your ribs further away from the bolster just a little, making more length in the spine. Good. And then open the knees, soles of the feet together. Glutes should be fully supported. If not, push it a little further. If anything, you want to err now on the side of having this more toward tailbone and ribs further up the mat. Good. So you want full support here. Yeah, so juniors could come down a bit.
Come that way?
That way. Yeah. Other way.
Other way.
Toward the parking lot. Yeah, there you go. Ribs, crawl your ribs away now. Make some space in your back, like your army crawling the ribs away. Good. Feel how that scoops out your low belly?
Yeah.
Like that? Yeah. Okay, keep that little bit of scoop, arms up, palms face in, or you can make your little gun. Reach the shoulder blades up, scooping the belly down, not closing the ribs. Pulling belly inside the ribs. Then reach the arms back. Feel the belly scoop out of the front of the hips, guys. Alright, and then bring it back up from low belly and serratus. Let the back release, let the chest release. Good. Arms open. Drop your arms all the way Open your toes wide, heels touching. Try to get the pinky side of the foot hooked into the mat. Lift your heels up, pressing a little bit with toes. Footwork. Good. And then let it go, release back down. Good. Bring your knees in. Good. Bring the knees in one at a time. Okay. Bring your feet to the bolster or the floor. Move your hips to the right. Same spot on the bolster. Bolster can come a little higher if you're falling off of it. Left leg forward. Bring the right leg across. You're rolling on top of your left hip, which should be right in the middle of the bolster. Right knee should come all the way across, and right arm reaches up so the bicep is against your cheek. Good, so you're going to roll a little onto that left shoulder blade. Good, breathe. There you go. If you're easy in the twist, you can drop your right arm back and just let the arm rest into your twist. Breathe. Soft the belly back. Bring the right foot back, hook it on the back of the knee, roll out of your twist. Go the other way. Make sure bolster's under lumbar spine to tailbone. Move hips to the left. Right leg across the center. Groin facing the ceiling. And then really tuck that right hip under like you're rolling on your side in bed. Bring the left knee across. Right hand holds left knee. Left arm up. Palm facing in and down to the ground. Bicep against the cheek. Breathe. If you push down in your right elbow a little bit, you can suck the belly back and bring your ribs a little left to keep a touch of a round in your lumbar spine. It feels a lot better than arching when you're in a twist. Okay, if you've got control of that, you can bring the left arm out to the left. Keep the low belly and keep that right elbow pushing ribs left. Breathe. One more breath. Bring the left foot behind the back of the knee, pull it back slowly. Good, come to the middle. Push your bolster. Now lift hips, keep your back in the mat, turn some fingers facing and press your bolster down. Feel it slide your low back out long, just to the tip of your tailbone. And then bring the knees back in one at a time and hold on to them. Just letting the low back release. You can rock left with knees, ribs should feel like they're going right. And then switch. Pull with hands to move legs. Don't tighten anything in the hips. And push your bolster all the way down to the calves. Again, if you want anything else, take it now before your corpse pose. I'm going to turn off our timer. Otherwise, stay in your corpse pose. Palms face the ceiling. Setting up for your final resting posture. If you don't like the bolster, you can take it away, or you can put it under the head and neck, whatever. Feels good to have it under the calves and your tail a little under. It keeps your low back more released. Okay, palms face up. Breathe. Hold the air in on your next breath. Roll your eyes back into the back of the head and the middle of the forehead. Feel what that does to the muscles in the eyes, the face. Let the air release slowly, soften your chest. Keep that gaze though. One more time, this time keep the gaze, but also hold the breath at the top. And then poof the cheeks out like a puffer fish and clench your teeth. Essentially you're engaging all the muscles in the face and head on purpose. Okay, so inhale. Poof cheeks out like a puffer fish, clenched teeth, eyes focus at the back of the third eye. Then let the air leak out and let it go from teeth, then cheeks, then release the gaze in that order. Just see if it helps you soften the face, the head, the neck, and the chest. One more try. If you're not into it, just stay with your Shavasana. So it's a long, deep inhale, poof cheeks, clenched teeth, look at third eye, and then relax what you can as you exhale, releasing teeth, then cheeks, and third eye. start deepening the breath again. Open fingers, open toes. Really spread the hands and flex the heels, but keep your knees bent. Sorry about the rain, that'll wake you up. Inhale, reach the hands overhead. Hold, reach. And then exhale, let everything go. Good. To come up, you can either tent knees, roll to one side, stacking knees, hips, ribs, shoulders, and letting your head lay on your own bicep. And the top hand would come into the mat, top leg reaching back, and you'd come up. 4. And if you prefer, you can bring the arms up. Bring the head up, chin to the chest. Suck the belly down. Slowly roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Either way. Come over your pillow. Just turn the head to one side. Roll it up when you're ready. Good job. How are we doing?
Very good.
Good job. Very good job. Questions? Comments? Issues?